Hello everyone, welcome back to Potted Plant Entertainment. My name is Chris, and in case you don't know, I review movies and I rank them on a scale of 0 to 100 in increments of 5. Today we're going to be talking about another one of my all-time favorite movies, Jaws. Jaws was released in 1975 and it stars Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, Lorraine Gary, and Murray Hamilton. It was directed by Steven Spielberg and is produced by David Brown and Richard Zanuck. And in this movie, it's about a shark that is terrorizing a small island, the island of Amity, and it's eating people. And three men, the chief of police, a marine biologist, and a shark hunter, they set out on an adventure to kill this shark. Jaws was one of the most difficult movies to make, probably ever. I mean, they ran into roadblock after roadblock after roadblock with this movie, and I believe this is like Spielberg's third feature film, if I'm not mistaken. And all it was meant to be was just to be a scary monster movie. That's all it was. But because of these amazing characters that we had in this movie, it became so much more. And it truly is one of the greatest movies ever made. This movie, I remember the first time I watched this movie, I don't remember exactly how old I was. Maybe I was 13, maybe I was 14. Yeah, 13 or 14. And my parents were going out for the night, and they told me, okay, because my aunt let me borrow her Jaws DVD, and I'd never seen it before. My parents said, this movie's really scary, so be really sure that you want to watch it. I was like, I'm sure I want to watch it. I watched it, and I've been in love ever since. It is one of my favorite films, easily top 5 favorite films. I fell in love with this movie from the start, and I also actually run a Jaws fan page on Instagram that I've been running since way back when. It's Jaws _ club if you want to follow me on that. I post Jaws pictures on there. Now I've been running that page for like over 5 years. I love this movie so much that I even read this book about the making of the movie. I watched so many documentaries. Oh man, I'm obsessed with this movie, and I could sit with you and I could talk with you about this movie for hours because I know so many fun facts about it. Like for example, did you know that the reason why the shark isn't in the movie a lot is because the robots were never working? And so they had to film it from first person view, which really ended up working out because the fact that you couldn't see it made it scarier. Especially in that opening scene when the girl is attacked when she's night swimming. Oh my gosh, the fact that you can't see it, and originally you were supposed to see a shark, but the fact that you couldn't see the shark made it so scary. So scary. And this movie, in fact, this movie ran into so many issues when they made it that it took them 6 months to film. And to give you an idea of how long that is, a movie takes 3 months to film. This movie took 6. Nowadays, Spielberg would have been fired about halfway through production. They would have brought in a new director. But it's a good thing that they did it because this is a masterpiece. Jaws isn't just a movie, it's a masterpiece. Also, my middle school drama teacher was actually a lifeguard in this movie. He said that he found out about the lifeguard gig when he was looking through the newspaper and he saw an ad that said lifeguards needed for fish movie. He had no clue what he was getting into. I'm sure he was really surprised when he saw the end result because all it said was fish movie. And I've never been able to spot him because he was a lot younger back then. I probably wouldn't recognize him anyways, but he is in the movie. Okay, let's get into my pros with this. The music in this movie is fantastic, especially the theme song. The theme song, dun 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 dun. It's one of the greatest pieces of music ever written, and all it is just dun 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 dun. But it makes such an effect, and not just the theme song, but all the music in this movie is fantastic. The cast, it was so well casted, and all 3 of these men almost were casted for this movie. They all got lucky because like they all almost didn't get casted for this. And all 3 of them have really good chemistry together, especially Roy Scheider and Richard Dreyfuss. But all 3 of them, they had amazing chemistry. The shark still holds up. To this day, the shark still looks real. This movie is one of the most timeless movies ever made. This movie and like Back to the Future, if those movies hadn't aged by now, they're not ever going to. This movie is always going to look good, always. It's scary, it's so much fun, it's exciting, it's suspenseful, it's got some good jokes in it. And this movie was so successful, actually it was the first movie to reach $100 million on the box office, and it was so popular it stayed in theaters for almost a year. That is crazy. But you know, it's fun to see a shark, you know, eat people and stuff, you know, gore, yay. But the thing that made this movie so great is these excellent characters. These excellent characters, and they're some of my all-time favorite characters. One of the things I love about this movie is that all three men have all three of these guys have a chance to fight the shark. All three of them go one-on-one with the shark with some kind of stabbing weapon, which I always really liked how all three of them fight the shark. It has one of the best movie deaths of all time. And if you've seen this movie, you know which one I'm talking about. That death, yes, that death toward the end of this movie is one of the greatest movie deaths of all time. It's so great. The ending is so fantastic. It's very quotable. And Quint's speech about the USS Indianapolis is one of the greatest monologues of ever put to camera, ever put anywhere, on stage, on camera, anywhere. It's one of the greatest monologues ever written. It is fantastic. And Robert Shaw, and he was like, Robert Shaw, I think, was like the 50th something choice for this movie or something crazy like that. Like, they did not, like, they went through a lot of actors before they finally settled on Robert Shaw. And it's a good thing they got him to, because he knocked it out of the park. He was perfect. All three of these men were just perfect. Just perfect. And they worked so well together. This movie is just, it's great beyond words. It's not just a fun movie to watch. This movie is an experience. This movie changed my life. This movie changed the way that I look at filmmaking. And this movie has resonated so much with audiences that a lot of people have become marine biologists just because they watched this movie. Now, I'm serious. Like, this movie has had such an impact on people. And in fact, after this movie came out, shark sightings increased by the thousands. Because after this movie came out, people thought every little thing was a shark. And to this day, this movie still makes people afraid to go in the water. This movie is just, I mean, it really means a lot to me. It really, really does. I love this movie. I would cherish it till the day I die. Now, if you want to nitpick at this movie a little bit, you can. Like, for one thing, it has a crap ton of goofs to, like, Chief Brody's watch disappears while he's looking at the beachgoers. Quint is aiming the harpoon up here, and then the next shot he's got it down here. Or even like the spectacles on Hooper's glasses, they're in the middle, and at some point they change to the top of the glasses and they move to the middle. A bunch of stuff like that. And I believe that Quint even got the date wrong in his monologue for when the Indianapolis sank. So, oh, and for nobody... What's interesting about this movie is that, first of all, Peter Benchley, because this is based on a book, Peter Benchley actually had a cameo in this movie. He was the news reporter in this movie, in case you didn't know that. He said that if he knew the way that sharks actually behaved, he would have never written this book. Because sharks don't exactly behave the way that it does in this movie, but in order for this movie to work, it had to behave that way. And a shark definitely wouldn't grab onto an air tank and hold it in its mouth. But it's a movie, and you just kind of got to accept it with that and go with it. And once you do, it's great beyond words. I absolutely love and adore this film. I forgot to write my score on the marker board, I just realized, but I'm going to give Jaws a 100 for sure. This movie is just so good. It means so much to me. I love this movie. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. I can ramble on about this movie for hours. Thank you so much for liking. Subscribe to Potty Planner Entertainment for more. Hit the like button. Leave movie suggestions down in the comments down below. Follow me on Instagram at Potty Planner Entertainment for channel updates, and much love.